Good afternoon and welcome to Stevens Elementary, home of the stars, where our Stevens scholars expect success and nothing less. I am Principal Shauna Showers. I am currently serving my third year as the instructional leader of this learning community. The staff and I would like to thank you for recognizing our accomplishments and celebrating our students and their success. Let me share a little bit about our community. Stevens Elementary was built in 1972, and we currently serve 669 scholars. Our students are diverse. 94% of our students are Hispanic, 3% are African American, and 3% identify as white. 88% of our students are on free and reduced lunches. 48.4% of our students are English learners, and 8% of our students qualify for special education services. Each one of our students is unique, and their smiling faces keep us on our toes, finding new ways to help them learn. There are so many things that I could be proud of at this time. I could go on all day. But one of the proudest moments is the growth of our students over the past few years. Our staff put in countless hours to ensure our students had a welcoming and interactive learning environment. And every day, our students showed up eager to learn. In just a few days, these halls will be filled with students, teachers, and staff, and we will celebrate our success and welcome new students to our way of learning. I'm sorry you won't be able to meet them all. Today, just a few members of our community are here, and we do appreciate your presence at our celebration. But I do have one special member that I do want to introduce, Daniela Ramirez, a fifth grader who is not shy. She's super smart and a shining example of a Stevens scholar. She registered a perfect score on her math test for the last 2 years. Her eagerness is contagious. Her eagerness to learn is contagious, and she is a true leader. She will introduce our superintendent.
Come on, Daniel. You got to remember that.
Good afternoon and welcome to Stevens Elementary School. I'm Daniela Ramirez and I am excited that you are here to celebrate the hard work of my classmates and me. I am here to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Latonia Goffney. Since she has arrived in 2018, Dr. Goffney has dedicated herself to nearly 67,000 students, 9,000 employees of the district, as well as the entire Aldine community. She believes in maximizing opportunities, developing leaders, and providing opportunities for all students. Please help me welcome Dr. Latonia Goffney.
Let me tell you about Miss Daniela really quick. In my script, I was going to say that I was going to ask her if she's going to be the future president because she has beauty and brains. But the commissioner beat me to it, and so he asked her, are you going to be a doctor? And she goes, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be a heart surgeon. So let's give it up for our Daniela. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you very much. Too sweet. She's amazing. First, I'd like to thank our Commissioner of Education, Mr. Morath, for selecting Aldine ISD as he goes on a tour across the state as celebrating success. So thank you so much for being here today. Let's give it up for our Commissioner of Education, Mr. Mike Morath. I wouldn't be standing here living my dream of helping and assisting our students as they move forward if it wasn't for having a wonderful board. As you know, the work that we do each day, you've got to have, or you must have, it's not even negotiable, the support of a board, and I have a very supportive board. Our board president is Mr. Steve Mead. Our board vice president is Ms. Connie Esparza. We have Ms. Rose Avalos. We have Mr. Paul Shanklin. We also have Dr. Kimberly Booker. And we have Patricia Bourgeois. Let's give it up for the best board. The best board. I was blessed with the best, and I have the absolute best board. I could not do the job without their support. If I have not said it enough, thank you all for supporting the vital work that is underway. We also have elected officials present. Thank you for supporting Aldine ISD, for supporting Texas public education with the passage of House Bill 3. Let's give it up for all of our legislators who made education a priority this most recent session. I'm very proud of the work that they've done, which is going to enable us to do a whole lot more work. It's going to help all of us, specifically those of us in Aldine, meet the needs of our children, our families, and our schools. We have several elected officials present, and so we feel honored to host you today. We'd like to ask our state senator, Carol Alvarado, to stand. Welcome. Our state senator, Paul Betancourt. Our state representative, Mr. Dan Huberty. We have our state representative and Aldine alumni, Mr. Armando Wally. I thought he went to Stevens, but he actually went to Mendel, but he is a product of Aldine and a product of this wonderful neighborhood. So again, let's give it up for one of our own, Representative Wally. He said, welcome to my neighborhood. For State Representative Valerie Swanson, we have Mr. Daniel Ackroyd. And I'm very proud of the work of our State Board of Education, of which one that I'm very proud to work with now, Ms. Donna Bahorich. Ms. Alma Allen. You know what, they want to keep you on that State Board of Education rep, but you are making a difference as a state rep. But I've seen the picture and everything. Let's give it up for State Representative Alma Allen. But you are connected to the next person, and that is Mr. Lawrence Allen. Thank you so much for your work. Your baby, your baby.
I've been over here 15 years now.
Awesome, awesome. I apologize for that. Let's give it up for Representative Alma Allen one more time. And last but not least, who's no stranger to me, he served as my former superintendent when I was a superintendent in another district. He was our president, but he's on the State Board of Education now, and it's Dr. Kevin Ellis. Welcome to Aldine. As I was stating, in Aldine ISD, our primary focus is ensuring all students have access to high-quality schools. And we want to do that by providing a rigorous and enriching educational experience that prepares every student, not some students, not the students we like, but prepares every student for success in life. We say here that we want our students to graduate with more than just a diploma. We want them to graduate with choices and opportunities. And in order for that to happen, we have to make sure that Aldine ISD, all of our schools, are the best choice for the 67,000 students who reside here. Our main goal is to increase the number of highly rated schools, and I am pleased to state this is happening, and this will continue to be our goal this year and in the coming years. Last year, we had one campus that would have been rated an A, and this year we have 4 schools that are rated an A, and they all received high marks. Let's give it up for those exceptional staff who worked to increase. In addition, we now have 4,435 fewer students learning in DNF schools. That's something to celebrate as well. And that is not all. With our 2018-2019 scores, the district moved from a C to a B. So let's give it up for all of Aldine staff. Of course, there is still more work ahead of us, but as I go into my second year as superintendent of schools, I'm amazed at the strides we've made in such a short period of time. But this progress does not happen just by accident. It takes a village, from educators to bus drivers to school nurses and cafeteria workers, from custodial workers to maintenance crew and many more. Everyone. Here we say all in for Aldine, and it's no secret that the people in this room, the people who are present today, they're all in for Aldine. Among those shining stars, you've seen one earlier, Ms. Daniela, and you've heard from our wonderful principal, Ms. Shauna Showers, and you visited this incredible campus, Stevens Elementary School, and we're excited about the progress that they were able to make. Just to tell you a little bit of history, and I'm going to be out of the way, but Ms. Showers, she moved from assistant principal at MacArthur High School to become the principal of this campus, Stevens Elementary, in July 2017. She worked hard to develop a new campus culture and learn the needs of her students and teachers. It was a tough first year for her, but she found herself leading many new educators at a campus that was poorly performing. As you can imagine, that made for hard days. Employee morale was down and parents were disengaged. But immediately, how many of you know that leadership makes the difference? Leadership makes the difference. She and her administrative team made changes and they refocused. And as a former basketball coach, she decided to regroup, reassess, and reorganize in a colossal way. She needed everyone to bring their A game. And they did just that, and the hard work paid off. Stevens Elementary moved from what would have been considered a D campus last year to an A school this year. And it shows the hard work and commitment of her entire staff. It's one thing to say I moved from IR to Met Standard, but it's a totally different thing, regardless of how you feel, to say that you moved from a D campus to an A campus. So give it up one more time for this amazing, phenomenal leader and her entire staff. Ms. Showers, I appreciate your leadership and the hard work of your staff, students, and parents. I also want to thank our district leaders. They're here. Thank them for all that they've done. One of my proudest accomplishments is putting together a team that is focused on improving student outcomes. And I'm proud of our staff members, our business leaders, and everyone who's here today, because we don't want to miss a single student. We're working hard on behalf of every student that we represent. And it's because of everyone's effort that we have this phenomenal result. So, Commissioner Morath, yes, I was excited when you called, and I know it's not all about Aldine ISD today, but I appreciate you for allowing us to host you, and I'm even more excited now that you're here celebrating with us. Thank you. When I needed you at the beginning of my tenure here, I made a phone call, and just like you said, you responded, and we were able to do what we needed to do, and I appreciate your support of all the students in Texas. So please welcome to Aldine, and welcome to the stage our Commissioner, Commissioner Morath.
I am very excited to be here today. Thank you, Governor Patrick. I am.
Neither one of you need that.
I am very excited to be here today. You know, I feel blessed to be able to wake up every day and think about how to help 5.5 million souls in Texas public schools, but I am honored to be able to work with so many people who've dedicated their lives to making the next generation of Texas better than the last, with all of the talents and all of the time and energy that you can bring in whatever you have during this life. You choose to invest it in our children, and we as a state are stronger for your service, and our children are certainly blessed for your service. So thank you for what you do for our schools here, our kids here, and for all over the state of Texas. We're here today to celebrate a significant improvement in student performance, in student outcomes, in Aldine ISD, but also what we're seeing around the state of Texas. Superintendent Goffney told you some of why I am here and why all of these esteemed members of the legislature are here. You have Chairman Huberty, the architect of House Bill 3, who also authored House Bill 22, responsible for our current A through F system. Governor Patrick and the work that you've did to lead us to get House Bill 3 passed. These are men and women who serve the state and could be anywhere in Texas, but they want to be here at Stevens Elementary to celebrate outstanding achievement in Aldine ISD. And it is outstanding. As Superintendent Goffney mentioned, Stevens Elementary last year would have been a D, a 68. And this year, they achieved a 91 on our accountability system. This is no mean feat. It takes a great deal of work, a great deal of skill, an absolutely focused school leader to transform a learning environment for kids in a way that doesn't just improve numbers on a whiteboard. It changes the lives of children in ways that we won't know for years to come. It is amazing. When you think about the impact that you have to achieve to go from a D to an A, I want to share with you, Principal Showers and Superintendent, just how unusual our environment here in Stevens is. There are about 8,200 schools in all of Texas. Of that, 19 19 total campuses went from a D to an A in the last year in Texas, and you're sitting on one of them. But there's more to the story than this, because these educators are unbelievably dedicated and tenacious, and they know how to move an instructional environment in a way that gets the best out of our kids, that helps them become the best versions of themselves, even in environments that that some might consider challenging. When you think about Stevens Elementary, almost 90% of the kids at Stevens Elementary come from households where families need some help making sure that there's food on the table. This is not an easy environment to work in. But the thing is, the educators at Stevens Elementary start the day with the belief that all children can learn. They can achieve at high levels. They can learn reading, writing, and math. And when they say all at Stevens Elementary and they say all at Aldine Elementary, they mean all. They don't mean unless you're a foster child. They don't mean unless you're homeless. They don't mean unless you're poor, or unless you don't speak English, or unless you're in special education, or unless you're black or brown or whatever. They mean the American dream will be available to every child, and public education will be the deliverer on that dream. And the educators here at Aldine and at Stevens Elementary are proof positive that poverty is not destiny, that our schools are the engine of the American dream, and that they have proven it here at Stevens Elementary. It is amazing. And I am in awe of what you've achieved. And I want to come back to these statistics. There were 19 campuses that went from a D to an A in Texas, but only 6 of them had more than 80% of their kids eligible for a free reduced lunch. You are on hallowed ground. Find a teacher around here and give them a thank you. Shake their hand, put them on your shoulders, and give them a ticker tape parade. This ultimately is one of the reasons we have an A through F system for the state of Texas. Today, we're not announcing results just for Aldine. We're announcing results all over Texas for schools all over Texas on the A through F system. This system is balanced. It's designed to look at the entire school and its effect on kids in every way. It's not just about standardized test scores, but it's also about AP tests and SAT and industry certifications and dual credit and graduation rates and military enlistment. Everything, because we care about all of our children and the whole child. We want them to read, write, and do math at high levels, but we want them to grow into good citizens. This is the job of public education, and this is what we try to reflect in our accountability system. And we try to reflect it in a way that recognizes the nuance of how difficult this work is, because we take little 3, 4, 5-year-old bundles of energy and turn them into self-aware members of the republic. And so when we think about the way the accountability system works, we look at student achievement. This is what students know and can do at the end of the year, because that is part of the story. We've got to get our kids to reach a certain level of skills so that when they go apply for a job, they can do that work on day one. But our schools are also about growth. They're about maximizing human potential. And so we look at the progress of students in our schools. If they were significantly behind before and they make massive gains, then we give our schools an accountability rating that recognizes the impact that their educators have had on those kids in that progress. And we also, when we think about this, we don't look at all students generally. We also look at each group of kids, because the American dream is for everyone. We want to make sure that every child in our schools are being given access to an effective education. And this is what we have done with this balanced system of accountability, the A through F system in the state of Texas. It is the fairest system that we have ever had. And you can see proof positive here in Aldine at Stevens Elementary that poverty is not destiny. In fact, when I think about on a statewide basis, there are 296 schools in Texas that have more than 80% of their kids eligible for a free or reduced lunch that achieved an A on the rating systems that were announced today. These are miracles that are happening in Texas public education, but they are not miraculous in and of themselves. They come from work, from people who love kids, and they bring their A game every day to give the kids the best. If I can switch gears and talk about Aldine as opposed to just Stevens Elementary, because again, it is great if we see one good school. But the way that we will move the state and the way that we will help all of our kids is for all of our schools to improve. And that is what is happening in Aldine ISD. I want a couple of high points to consider. Aldine ISD has about 65,000 students. There are 20 districts in the entire state of Texas with more than 50,000 kids, 20 very large school districts. Aldine's Aldine's performance improved across the board. Student achievement grew by 7 points. School progress grew by 9 points. Overall performance grew by 7 points. Of the very large districts, of all 20 of those very large districts in the state of Texas, Aldine gained the most in student achievement. It had the #1 gain in student achievement. Aldine gained the second most in school progress and second most overall. And what is perhaps even more interesting when you reflect on this accomplishment is Aldine as a district has roughly 87% of their kids eligible for a free or reduced lunch. It is the highest poverty, very large district in all of Texas. And yet, you are outpacing them all in terms of improvement. You know, the thing we have to recognize about the system that we have to evaluate and support our educators and support parents is we don't live in a utopia today. We have challenges. But the question is, will next week be better than this week? And is this week better than last week? This is the reason that we look at this information. This is the reason that we use this information. And we've tried to make this information as transparent as humanly possible for every Texan. And so if you will permit me, I think for the next few minutes I'm going to nerd out on you. Because we have a website that we have launched that you can go to today. You can pull up your smartphones, texasschools.gov. And every parent, every educator, every school board member can visit this website today and check things out. So I'm going to see if I can make this work. There we go. Let's make a little logistic adjustment here. All right, we're going to look at Stevens Elementary in Aldine. Let's see if I can scroll. Whoops. That's the wrong Stevens. All right, we're going to get back to it here. Are you going to help me out? All right, good. Sorry. It's actually easier when you do this on your phone. There we go, Aldine, perfect, excellent. So you can see right here, Aldine at Stevens Elementary gets an A. Up from 68 last year to 91 this year. Again, there's only 9 of you. This tool has been designed to maximize transparency. We don't want to hide anything from anybody. We want to know exactly how all of our students are doing so that we can support them as effectively as possible. So you click on Tell Me More, you can find out exactly how the A through F system has been built. Nice infographics, easy to use, easy to read, so you can tell exactly what all of this stuff means and how it works. If I want to delve into the details of the 3 different domains of performance that we look at, whether it's student achievement, school progress, closing the gaps, let's take a look at additional details on closing the gaps. And we can see this school got an A in closing the gaps in terms of all means all here in Aldine ISD and certainly at Stevens Elementary. It's a mix of factors that we look at. It's not just standardized test scores. You're going to look at a variety of different indicators. And you can, as a parent, as an educator, you can scroll down and see all of these individual details. We want to make sure that each one of our groups of students, we set goals for them, and have they met the goals or have they not? It is right there in front and center for everybody to see. Again, we try to maximize transparency. But wait, there's more. If we go back to the school finder, let's say that you've got a 8th grader who's rising to high school here in the area, and you're trying to learn a little bit more about finding the best fit school for your kid. So I'm going to browse Texas schools, and this takes us to a new feature that we launched this year to try to, again, provide transparency to educators and parents. So I'm going to pull up my 9th grade. I'm going to theoretically pull up my 9th grade filter. Good. Type in an address. Not too far from here. God bless you. We'll zoom in on the area, and we can see here I am and all these schools that are in the area, how they performed, how far are they from me, and I can check out any one of these schools in the area. So what is this? MacArthur 9th grade, specialized 9th grade school. So I'll take a look at MacArthur as a transition program for my students. Or I can go back and try to see, again, more schools on that same map. Let me zoom back out here. So, how far these things are from me. Richard Milburn, you got schools, all kinds of schools in the area you can kind of check out. Carver High School for Applied Tech Engine in Aldine ISD, also a B. Great option for your kids if they're 8th graders. And you can learn more about that option. So if I want to delve into performance in some area, let me take a look at student achievement at Carver High School. And you can see, not only is it from an overall perspective what the rating is, but how do we derive the ratings? It is not just star scores. In fact, that's only 40% of the grade. We look at college, career, military readiness. We look at graduation rate. So what does it mean, college, career, military readiness? Well, we can see that they're getting a 92, so they're doing something pretty good at Carver. But if I want to know exactly what it means, I can expand these details any way that I like. So I can see it's partially SAT and ACT scores right there. It's partially, maybe I'll move over this side. Do my best Vanna Whites. It's partially AP and IB tests, partially dual credit classes. Did they earn an industry credential? Because we want to make sure kids are prepared for whatever they want to choose to do next. Did they earn an associate's degree? Because nothing says you're ready for college like you already graduated. When we think about all of our students, we look even for special education students. Did we facilitate an effective transition into the workforce? Military enlistment, everything. This is a very balanced, multifaceted system to provide fair and accurate information on things that matter, both to parents and to educators. Parents can check out the profile and see a little bit more about the school. They can send an email to the rockstar principal at the campus. But this is not a tool just for parents. It is, in fact, when we think about it, the work that our educators do, they are focused full-time on trying to get better results year in, year out. And so we have built a suite of data analytics tools. Nothing excites a nerd like data analytics. And you can see sort of a breakdown on the specific details, because what we want to be able to do is empower our educators to build action plans around how to get better results for our kids. Whether you're looking at correlations, you're comparing campuses, you're seeing trends over time. So if we want to look at correlations, for example, maybe I'm interested in seeing the relationship between economically disadvantaged status and overall accountability score. So if I click on view there, it brings it up. And this is every district in the state of Texas. On the y-axis, you can see overall performance. On the x-axis, you can see the level of poverty in the campus. And I can mouse over, assuming I know how to use this touch screen, I can mouse over any one of these individual districts to see, okay, this is where I am, but maybe I'm interested in finding out what practices are going on at these other districts that are higher up in terms of their performance, even though they're very similar to me in terms of their poverty. We want to help provide educators a roadmap so they know, let me pick up the phone, find out what action plans they engaged in, what practices they did to get such great results for their kids. Because again, it does not do us good as a state if only Stevens Elementary